Hi Astro friends, Melanie here on the day of the harvest supermoon, the 17th of September 2024, with the Astro Weather for the week going until next Monday, the 23rd of September. So in other words, also over the fall equinox. Let's take a deep breath for starters. It is a wild time. So much is up now, so much chaos, so much confusion, so much overwhelm, especially coming from news, from communication, debates, discourses, and especially also division, right? So there is so much, especially coming out of the United States at this point, being fired out and catalyzed also, I should say, as we are seeing the very last phase of the PLUTO return of the US, which has actually started as Pluto re-entered Capricorn on the 1st of September, and it will be there until November 19th, just across the elections, and then fully enter Aquarius for the next 20 years until 2043-44. In the meantime, Pluto is really hot at this point and it will go retrograde. So in other words, there will be a stationary Pluto phase around it October the 11th. So the whole month of October will be a very Plutonic month, and especially for the states with its very last leg of the PLUTO return, which has been exact since 2022. And it's really an unusual and rare event that comes only every 248 years. And if you do the math, 1776 to 2024, that's 248 years exactly. So US have the PLUTO return, end of Capricorn, and so much is coming up now in terms of power structures and dark repressed dynamics that are coming to the surface right now that have to do with authority, with government, with structures, and with leadership. So all of that is Capricorn, and now as Pluto is retrograding Capricorn until October the 11th, it's really about finding our inner authority and disengaging from blaming external authority. It's like, in a way, blaming your parents, and it's still a signature of the old outgoing Pisces age that is simultaneously also coming to an end, as which I call a Pluto in Capricorn theme. The old empires expire. So that Pluto theme, definitely relevant at this point, while we are also having, as I said, the supermoon, the super harvest moon coming up this evening, and it's even a penumbral lunar eclipse. So there is a bit of the lunar disk, just a thin slice, 3.5%, is eclipsed by the Earth's shadow. If you have a clear evening, a good view of the moon, you might not still see much at all, but the effects, of course, are here. And let me show you the chart for the supermoon. And eclipse will be, so the supermoon will be at 7:34 p.m., the maximum eclipse at 7:44 p.m. Pacific. Here is the chart. Okay, so as you see, there's a lot going on here in this whole dynamic from Pisces to Aries, and also here from Virgo to Libra, where the sun is, of course, right, the last days of Virgo, last days of summer until 22nd of September, and even Mercury is back there in Virgo, and it reaches over to Libra with the South Node, with Lilith, with Venus. And here you have Pisces, you have Saturn that the moon passed last night, and now the moon, Neptune, which will pass tonight, and then the North Node in Aries, Chiron in Aries, and also Aries, ERIS in Aries. And Aries and Chiron are really significant too because they are also squaring Pluto. And so this is exactly what I talked about before. So in other words, Aries is known to be the archetype of division and discord, and she creates strife and likes to interfere, right? And likes to create trouble and hassle. She basically, more than hassle, I should say, she in mythology was in a way the initiator, or I should say the determining factor for the start of the Trojan War. So discord and strife are themes for Aries, and she was not invited to that wedding, and that made her very angry, and that she couldn't participate, and she went on this revenge course. So that archetype is significant because Aries has been in Aries, the sign ARIES, and Aries is ERIS. Okay, so Aries and Aries since the 1920s, so a really long time. And we've seen a lot of discord and strife and inciting of war in a way in the last century. So now, as Pluto squares Aries one last time before going into Aquarius out of orb with Aries, things really come up, but only for transformation and change. That we're not going back in history to repeat those patterns. We need to come out of the world of the old clashing empires into more freedom, and our shared humanity really matters. Humanity is stepping up, is figuring out what's going on, and taking back power, and that's a good thing for Pluto in Aquarius. And that doesn't mean violence or taking things in your own hands in a revolutionary way, if that's a violent revolution, but it definitely is an evolution and revolution, I should say too, because humanity is really waking up. And Pluto retro also says, yeah, there's these old patterns, but find power within. Pluto is about power, right? And inalienable power, and for the US, of course, that has a lot to do with the Constitution. So if that's for real, get back to the essence, to the soul, to the core of what the Constitution really means. And for all of us, finding powers that we have also intrinsically inalienably, right? Nobody can take away from us, and we can't outsource those, and we need to claim them. And with those powers in place, we are immune to this discord and strife, right? We're not being played against one another, pinned against one another, which is also what Aries might indulge in. So yeah, so again, seeing the humanity in one another, and going back to what matters most at the end of the day, which is Pluto in Capricorn. So I talked a lot about this right now because it's so much up. But what's with the full moon, with the eclipse full moon? Yes, as I said, a lot going on in this dynamic. And as you see, right, there are all these three oppositions happening simultaneously. Of course, the moon and Neptune with the sun, that's the full moon. And the full moon, moon and Neptune also close to the nodes, which makes it an eclipse, but not close enough to create more of a total eclipse. So it's not as strong as it can be, but still super powerful, right? Because of that polarity. So that polarity, if we break that down, Virgo style, is all about from the late Virgo side, which is also double Virgo, end of Virgo is double Virgo. So it's all about alignment and about health, order. Things are in place, right? This would be so important at this point. And also a practice and an awareness for starters, right? First of all, an awareness of what the issue is, right? That's very much a theme around Virgo. And also, what can be the solution here? How can we fix this? What needs to be done to bring things back into alignment? And it starts with ourselves, right? What is a wellness, a health and wellness practice that would really be beneficial at this point for you? And I'm saying that also because of the Moon Neptune component on the other side. Moon Neptune can be very overwhelming, very confusing, very chaotic energy. It's like one big wave of things are coming at you, and you can lose yourself in all of this. And at the same time, also with both of them end of Pisces, which is also double Pisces, it's also a wave of oneness. It's a wave of connectivity. The moon shows us where the needs are. We really need more connection with one another and with life, with spirituality, with God, with the divine. All of this is Pisces, the big unifying principle. And so, as we cultivate that, we might really want to, with the Pisces Virgo side, do lots of spiritual practice. And it doesn't have to be an effort or something to, kind of spend a lot of time on, even, right? So it can be as simple and Capricorn like simplicity as really consciously taking breaths, sitting down for a few minutes and meditating, doing some good stretches, yoga stretch, anything that relaxes you and brings you back into flow state. That is what Pisces is all about. More flow, more ease, better vibrations, more connection, more love, right? That's what's up. And since it's an eclipse, while the full moon is in Virgo Pisces or in Pisces Virgo, it's also a precursor for the upcoming eclipses from next year on, 2025, in Virgo and Pisces. Currently, I should say, because that has to do with the nodes, right? So currently, the nodes are still in Libra South Node, Aries North Node, but that shifts end of January next year, and then they go backwards, they always go backwards to Virgo South Node and Pisces North Node. And that will also be the eclipse axis for the coming 1.5 years. So this is sort of a transition eclipse also, which already shows us the themes that are coming. And with Virgo Pisces, I would say a theme is, for now, being a seed, which is Virgo also likes to do, and seed eclipse we're having at this point, being a seed of love, being a seed of love. And what does that look like? What does that mean in your daily life? How can you contribute to more love and connection versus to more division and discord and all of that, right? That doesn't mean you're a doormat or you're being taken advantage of. This is what Saturn in Pisces takes also care of, and says we need good, energetic boundaries and good spiritual grounding. We need to be anchored in the light, anchored in our spirituality, and and from that place we are strong, but we're also immune. Saturn in Pisces is literally about immunity to all sorts of influences that are toxic or not beneficial, right? So things are just flowing off us. It doesn't stick. We don't get absorbed by these things, and we're not taking them so much in. And at the same time, we are cultivating compassion, of course, right? And that is also the art with the paradoxical Pisces and the challenge with Saturn in Pisces at this point. And it's also about Saturn retrograde in Pisces, which is about finding inner spiritual authority, not outsourcing that, not giving that away, but really finding it from within and following that guidance and doing spiritual practice and seeing the spiritual tests at this point, but meeting them at the same time. And yes, so from the Aries Libra side or Libra Aries side of this eclipse, we're having the South Node in Libra, and comes also with Lilith, right? So with Libra, it's about relationship. It's about balance. It's about giving and taking, giving and receiving. I should say not taking, but it's about the reciprocity and the dance of partnership and of balance. I already mentioned that balance, super important, and of course peace, right? Negotiation. All of that can also express on a lower vibration, which is what the South Node warns us about and shows us what is ripe to release, in fact. And lower vibration of Libra would be compromising, pleasing, nobody gets hurt, I really want to be nice, but while I'm so nice, I'm actually quite fake, right? And so it's a fake detector South Node, and it is also about releasing anything that just doesn't serve us anymore in that regard by taking too much energy in certain relationships that are not really compatible with us. That's the compatibility theme with Libra. And what's the criterion for that is from the Aries side, being authentic. Can you be authentic with yourself? And can you be truly authentic in that relationship and in general, right? Authenticity is what leads, what rocks, what gives energy with the North Node in Aries. And we'll see more of that with the upcoming one clear eclipse, the annular solar eclipse on October 2nd, which is a ring of fire, it's also called, in Libra, with the South Node in the North Node in Aries. And then we have end of Libra on the 17th of October, another full moon, which is almost an eclipse, and it has the moon in Aries and Chiron in Aries nearby, right? So it is also a lot about that authenticity versus strategizing or like sitting on a fence, not being able to decide, not being able to make a choice because for whatever reason, right? Could be procrastination, could be not trying to lose or could not lose friends or all these things, right? All these strategies. And so authenticity, taking first steps, taking initiative is very Aries-like, right? So going ahead, doing it, see what happens, rather than sitting, hanging, oh, I'm not ready, and all this kind of stuff. Then we have, on that note, with the Libra Aries dynamic, we have also exact today the T-square, double square, from the South Node in Libra and the North Node here in Aries to Mars, the ruler of Aries, in early Cancer. So this is a cardinal T-square. Mars activates the karmic axis here, right? And Mars is per se not happy in Cancer. It's called in fall in Cancer. It is exalted in Capricorn. So what's going on here? Mars definitely is an outlet, is like definitely a catalyst of this dynamic. And that can be lots of frustration and discontent that is especially emotionally charged when we're Cancer side, and especially in Cancer countries like the US and Canada, and also in families and within tribes, within people's dynamic that are like family, like home, and it stirs things up. Mars stirs up emotions in Cancer, and the energy is also there can be a lot of unrest when people don't feel safe, right? So Cancer has to do with safety. And Mars says, oh, wow, there is violence. There's all this. These attacks are going on. I don't feel safe here. And that can be a theme. And that can be sort of the warrior is in the house, which is not good news, right? So what can be done to be protective if needed? Mars in Cancer is also a mama bear energy. And rather than letting this spiral of aggression and violence go further up, we need to de-escalate. Is also what Libra would say, right? But we need to also be not wait and sit and debate, but actually do something. That's what Aries says, right? And yeah, so what else is going on with this full moon? We are coming to the equinox, to the fall equinox. Equal day time and night time at fall and spring equinox. And happy spring equinox if you're in the southern hemisphere of planet Earth. So the equinox will be this year on the 22nd because we have a leap year a little earlier. Typically it's on the 23rd. On the 22nd of September, Sunday, at here is the chart again at 5:54 a.m. So we wake up into autumn on Sunday, unless you are a really early bird or a super night owl. And so fall equinox. Fall equinox shifts the dynamics. Now, this week, building up to it or winding down to it, we have so much mutable energy, Virgo, Pisces typically, right? But also Gemini. And then the energy shifts into Libra. So the Libra theme comes in very strongly, and even Venus makes a move as well on the equinox day out of Libra into Scorpio. So all of this is new impulses. Libra is a cardinal sign. Cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. Libra doesn't seem to be so much about leadership or being sort of taking charge, but it does set impulses, especially in relationships. So Libra is often the one that pursues relationship mostly, right? And so balance, peace, all of that will play a super important role, and of course choices. And we have again the US elections. So all of that will become super important with Libra. And yeah, so I wrote an article for the eclipse and for the main transits of fall 2024. And we'll also have a fall astro parlor on the 23rd, the second day of fall. In the evening, you can come to Victoria here in person, or you can also join us online. And I put that in my Facebook, on my Facebook Astro page. There's an event for that. And I also link here below in the YouTube or wherever you see this. You get some show notes, as I call it, right, with the links to my WordPress blog where the article for the fall equinox is, and of course also to the Facebook page. Now, fall equinox, what are the main factors for fall 2024? I just name a few. More about that in the article and in our parlor if you'd like to join us. So the main themes are Pluto entering fully Aquarius on November 19th. That's huge. That is the final shift. Pluto has already been at the edge of Aquarius, briefly in Aquarius last spring 2023, and also most of 2024 from January 20th to September 1st. And then now there's a break, there's a backing off, but it fully goes into Aquarius. So the changes are really coming for humanity, for systems, and still we need to watch. It's not all good just because it's Aquarius. It's also, Pluto also, especially at the entry of a new sign, also shows us extremes and the shadow. So what would be Aquarian extremes? Would be like totalitarian takeover of technology. Lots of T's here, right? And if you have a sense, the machines are really in charge here. The algorithms, all the social media, we are being absorbed by them, and the biodigital convergence is happening on steroids, and all these things that can be shadows of Aquarius. So also surveillance, control, all of that via technology. And so perfect, complete penetration Pluto by technology, and to exploit data and stuff like that. So we don't want that, right? That's not the utopia. It's more like a dystopia of Aquarius for the future of humanity. We don't want to kind of modified human here, and even humanity as we know it is going extinct. Yeah, so these trends are out there, and that's why also we have to come together as humanity, right? That's also the Pluto in Aquarius factor. Humanity needs to be empowered more than ever before and really stepping into that. Then we have also this fall, did I mention? Yeah, I think I mentioned before, just for context, Pluto will be in Aquarius for the next 2 decades, right? And be one of the signatures of the change of eras. There are more, and they kick in 2025, 26 with other planets changing signs. So let's go back to fall here. So what's also coming up, yes, it's the eclipse season. And already starts today, technically, with this penumbral one, although it's a transition eclipse in a way, as I said, right? But we have one full-on eclipse, and that will be the October 2nd one, the annular solar, also called Ring of Fire eclipse. And it will be a release eclipse, mid-Libra, and with a south node. So in other words, releasing all sorts of Libran things we don't need anymore. And we have a few new moons and full moons, as always, in these 3 months to come. We have, this is the first new moon in fall, the 2nd of October with the eclipse. Then we have the 1st of November in Scorpio, and we have the 30th of November. So in other words, it's kind of a blue new moon, if there's such a thing. In other words, 2 new moons in November. And Eastern time it will be December 1st. So always in the center of the signs in this case, right? Central Libra, Central Scorpio, Central Sagittarius. Then we have a few full moons, and the first full moon will be the 17th, today 17th of September. The first autumn full moon, fall full moon, will be on the 17th of October. And that will be a pseudo eclipse, I would call it at this point, because it's almost an eclipse. The full moon will be in Aries Libra. That's also where the nodal axis is, but the full moon will not be close enough to the nodes to actually create an eclipse, but the energy is there, right? So it is a seed energy there from the Aries side, together with Chiron, a really important one, right? So we really need healing through new beginnings, healing through warrior spirit, but not more warfare and destruction, but a warrior of peace, a warrior of integrity, a warrior of all the good things, right? And authenticity. Then we'll have another full moon in November 15th, shortly after the US elections, and that will be another supermoon, right? So we had one supermoon here already in August. Today's the second supermoon in a row. The third supermoon will be the 17th of October, and the fourth and last one will be the supermoon in November 15th. So the supermoons are also by nature very powerful. The moon is closer to Earth than usually having a stronger effect and with the bigger disk of the moon than usually. So that one in November 15th, will be in Taurus, Taurus moon together with Uranus opposing the sun in Scorpio. So there can be lots of surprises because of the Uranus factor, lots of breakthroughs, lots of paradigm shifts. And then the last one will be on December 15th also, right? We had two 17th, right? September and October, and two 15th, November and December. So December 15th will have the end of Gemini, Sag, full moon. And that will be close to Jupiter because Jupiter is in Gemini. So there is, that one seems to be, to me, since it ends this sequence, no, it doesn't end, sorry, the moon sequence, which is related to planets, which is close to planets, ends actually in January, with the January full moon close to Mars in Cancer, while the sun is in Capricorn. But that one in December, with the Gemini full moon being close to Jupiter, seems to be actually a quite nice one, and a bit of a sigh of relief from all the other ones which are more turbulent and more chaotic, especially the one today can feel quite chaotic. And so this is just a quick preview of the full moons and new moons of fall. Of course, way more about that in our parlor. And also what's striking for fall is we are entering the retro record season of the year. We're having, since September 1st, we have 1st of September, Uranus went retro, and before it was Mercury in August. So we're having now 5 planets retro, and that continues, and it will be even continues till the end of the year, right? The whole month, the whole season of fall, until Christmas. And we see then the peak of the retro record will be October 9th to 11th. Why? Because on November 9th, Jupiter enters. Jupiter goes retro, so that makes 6. And then on October 11th, 3 days later, Pluto goes out of retro, so back to 5. And so that will be the peak. So, and also since October, you have these 2 turnarounds and you have the eclipses. That's a really critical month of the year, as was April, with a quick reminder, the total solar eclipse over the US, the Great American Eclipse, they call it, over Mexico and the US southern border and east coast of the US, even into Canada. That was on April 8th, and that was one of the main features of April, and definitely the other super month of the year. So really watch for October. And so let's go back to this week. What's going on this week? We have now, as I said, we're end of Virgo with extra Virgo undertone until we come to the cusp with Libra at fall equinox. And then we have double Libra. We have early Libra being Libra undertone. So it's all about fairness, justice, relationships, and so on. And now it's about being in alignment and doing the right work that helps us be grounded and be of service. So the connection of Virgo Libra is, of course, working with people. And also, how does it work with people, right? And now we're having moon-wise, we're having the moon, yes, in Pisces for the supermoon, and still in Pisces until tomorrow morning, the 18th, at 2:24 a.m. And that's a shift when the moon shifts monthly from Pisces to Aries, although it's not a new moon cycle, but it's really a renewal. And so coming out of the waters, right? And showing up again, hopefully regenerated, refreshed, renewed, and also being yourself again. That's very Aries, right? And autonomy and authenticity will play a strong role as the moon also approaches the north node and then also the Chiron. Then the moon will be in Aries on the 18th and 19th into the 20th in the morning. That's Friday at 2:03 a.m. The moon enters Taurus, where she is the most comfortable, where she's exalted, where she can take us to joy, grounding. So that is a great time into the weekend until Sunday morning to do grounding work, to do literally do garden work. That's what I'm gonna do on Saturday, and cooking and anything that really makes us also enjoy the fruits of the season, right? Any harvest activity, harvest festival activities, traditions relating to harvest and celebration of the fall equinox are wonderfully supported by the moon in Taurus. And of course, the sun still in Virgo and Pluto end of Virgo, they actually create a great, not a great, a grand Earth trine. And Neptune in Pisces will be also involved, so that in combination creates what's called a kite formation, a kite configuration. And that is a very auspicious opportunity that, in a way, um, carries forward the energy of the moon, of the supermoon today with Pisces, right? So we're having an opportunity to really ground the light, all the light that is available now with Uranus in Taurus, do the good work, serve for the highest purpose, Pluto in Capricorn, and for the greatest good of all. And so that's a beautiful kite configuration. I wrote about it in the Astro News newsletter, which also went out today for the full moon. So if you'd like to subscribe to that, send me an email. I put my email address down below and I'll add you to the list, and you'll receive the Astro News for every new moon and full moon. Email-wise, it's very comprehensive. It covers the phase from new moon to full moon and full moon to new moon. And so the moon will be in Taurus, as I said, until Sunday, the actual equinox day, in the morning, just after the sun has, no, just before the sun enters Libra, we have the moon entering Gemini. So that's double air. That really is a shift again. And lightness and balance are super important with Libra, and communication in relationships, of course, right? With Libra and Gemini. And moon will continue to be in Gemini until the 24th in the morning, and that's when this Astro weather video sequence that week ends. Okay. What else? Yes, Venus, as I said, goes into Scorpio on the 22nd in the evening after the sun has entered Libra. Venus leaves Libra and goes into Scorpio, goes over that tipping point. I call the Libra Scorpio cusp the tipping point where choices lead to consequences, or also in making a choice and really diving in and going deeper into that experience rather than sitting on a fence. Venus is per se, again, not so super happy in Scorpio. She rules Taurus, right opposite, and she rules Libra, which she leaves now. And so what's going on there? Because she takes us, the love goddess, takes us into the depth. And that's also where all sorts of shadow comes up, right? So with Venus in Scorpio, we might be actually drawn to the shadow, to the background, to the underground, to themes that are sitting in They're hiding basically, right? No place to run, no place to hide with Scorpio, and control dynamics in relationships can come up with Venus in Scorpio, but also it lends itself to much more depth and intimacy, right? It's all typically with Scorpio a matter of processing and not getting stuck somewhere or shutting down, right? We need to get through things, and then we can have a much deeper experience, a much deeper relationship. And that's it for today. I think it's been a really long one, and I got energized by the harvest moon. So thanks for your patience. And I see you in real life, or you see me next time with this video channel for the coming week. Bye.